and welcome to Tales on Tap, a place where good friends every so often get together and tell stories about vanquishing solar dragons, a lot of sci-fi theorizing, and then taking a young goblin boy into space without telling him he's going into space, and the consequential party conflicts that arise from that. I hope you're all doing great. It's been a long time since I've been in the DM seat, so I'm feeling a little bit rusty, but I'm sure we'll fly right into this as these guys set off towards the SpellJammer Academy. But without further ado, before we get into tonight's announcements, let's say hello to everybody, shall we?
Hello to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello, how are we doing?
All right.
All right.
All right. Yeah, it's
Good
great.
stuff.
Ready
Good.
for
Can't wait to get back
some
into space.
space shenanigans.
You will notice that Chris is unfortunately not here. His plane back from Greece, the lucky fucker, was a little bit delayed, so he's unable to make it tonight, but he will be with us on Tuesday, where the boys' turn is up in the Fallen, where we have Jove, Michael, and Stig battling their way through the Mirror of Dead Men. Well, if you missed what Hallie and Ash got up to, be sure to head over, catch up the VOD, or check out the upload to YouTube, which will go out tomorrow, right, Dan? Yeah. It was a time. Ash is a bit broken. Not going to spoil anything else. Go and watch it. It's a lot of fun. A very good session. And these guys are going to pick up next week on Tuesday. Other than that, our announcements. We are, as usual, as Dan zooms into his face extremely closely. Content warning for...
That should be a trigger warning.
Honestly. We are, as always, sponsored by our lovely friends over at Valkyrie RPG. So if you head over to valkyrie-rpg.co.uk and use code TALES10 for 10% off at checkout. I was doing so well on all items except for subscription packs, because you're already getting a decent bargain on those already, but they've got incredible dice sets, rolling mats, all of the good stuff.
Terrain, apparel,
loads. So definitely go and check those guys out. They are lovely. We met them back in June at the UK Games Expo.
Best people.
They were so great, and have gifted me many a nat 20 since, which I'm very happy about.
Me not so much.
Yeah, Natalie is still cursed, but I'm doing. I
don't blame them in any way.
Not bitter at all.
I
But yeah, so other than that, obviously we understand that you may not have the spare coin to subscribe at the moment. There's never any pressure to do so, but if you would like to subscribe, then do feel free. And if you can't squeeze the money right now, if you have an account on Amazon Prime,
rob your nan. No, don't do that.
no.
What the fuck?
What the hell? If you have an account on Amazon Prime, then you can link up your Prime.
Don't rob.
Throw me off. You can link your Prime to Twitch for a Prime Gaming sub, and that's completely free. And if you want to use it on us, then that'd be amazing. If not, go support other streamers out there. We love this community and everything that you guys have done for us so far. So just keep up the support, and just you guys even being here or catching the VODs or anything like that means the world. And also, if you can't stick around for the stream, or you just want to see more of us, look at the downstairs below where all of our socials are linked. We are currently working in the background in the back rooms on getting some more clips together from more recent episodes. And yeah, so we're gonna have a bit of a rehash of the social media. There'll be a lot of fun clips going out soon enough. Apologies, that is kind of my fault that they haven't been going live. It's been
unacceptable. Sorry.
Shut up. Apollo dies.
Immediately.
It's been a long.
The party dies.
It's been a long day, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you might be able to tell we are a little bit manic right now, but don't even worry. It's going to be a very fun session.
It's just going to get worse from here.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
If anybody else, does anybody else have any other announcements? Serious announcements, like actual announcements?
Not serious now.
No, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
I don't do serious.
Yeah, we're
I
good.
mean, so just to kind of say, Dan mentioned this on Tuesday, but both the Fallen and SpellJammer are beginning to reach their end. SpellJammer is likely to be coming to a close in the next 2 or 3 episodes. So we are reaching kind of the climax, as it were, of this little mini adventure.
Oh, you lucky devils reaching climax of the adventure.
So rare that it happens.
The Fallen has likely a little bit longer left in it. We are not wanting to rush the end of that at
Edging
all.
our way there.
But, oh my god. But, because
Through,
I understand how Matt Mercer feels now with Laura Bailey at the table. But, The Fallen, once it's come to a close, we will be starting campaign 2 with brand new characters from level 1, so you can join our journey from the start, which I am so excited about. Like, some of the character discussions we've had so far are it's going to be great. So that's probably going to be end of September, early October, I think you said, Dan?
Ish.
We're not playing it by ear. Well, but we are playing it by ear. So shut up. You guys have thrown me off, okay? Do not blame me.
I know. This is all us. I'm sorry.
I
You're
was
doing really
trying.
well.
Can't help it.
What you did was
I'm
you went.
innocent here.
What you
I'm
did-
innocent.
Away.
By starting going, so you know, it's been a while. I'm trying to find my feet. We're all like,
Let's fuck her up.
But yeah, so campaign 2 will be beginning kind of towards the end of this year. So be sure to join us for that, and we'll get a load of promo stuff out before then, so you get to see sneak peeks of what's in store. But I'm so excited from what Dan said already. But if that is everything,
It is, love.
it is. Recap wise,
We're rolling.
I'm just gonna get the 3 of you to roll
Yeah, I'm not rolling.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, right.
for this, to make notes for this one.
I'm not rolling.
Apollo, get at your battle stations ready to recap, all right?
Oh yeah, I've got to do that, haven't I?
Yeah, you got to do that.
I got a 2.
A 2. I feel like it might
Let's
be done.
start those low rolls off right.
14 for me.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
A 1! Okay, so Gurgle, you will be doing the recap for us next time. In that case, with all that said and done, everybody, if you haven't already, go grab yourself a quick drink, quick nip to the toilet, but sit down, relax, as we hop into tonight's episode of Tales on Tap.
Whoop, whoop.
Well, what a day. We made it out alive. Barely. After dealing with the shiny underground sun dragon thing, we were all left a little shook up. Though, who could blame us? We scraped through that fight by the skin of our teeth and nearly lost a couple of members of the group. To be honest with you, I didn't know what was more shocking. The discovery of the underground lair, or hearing about Geo's checkered past. But I suppose I need to check my temper. It's just a past. We can't change it, or run from it, and well, everyone's got one. Given Gurgle's proclivity for things that explode, I'm sure he has just as much of a shady past as anyone, but nobody seems to bat an eye at that, so I should really tone it down. But I digressed. Trust isn't something I've noticed a lot between this group, I have to admit. One minute we seem to be at each other's throats, but the next fighting for each other's lives. Paradoxical, and if we were to truly succeed, then we need to put a little bit more faith in each other, I think, and put our differences aside. Although we've all made questionable choices in our time together, what really counts is being able to rely on each other. Well, I need to take my own advice. These people don't know me, nor I them, and maybe I reacted a little harshly to Giovanni, though I find him quick to temper and sometimes, and frankly a little rude and commanding. I do owe him an apology though, but maybe when the timing's a little better. Anyway, I left the group in the hole in the ground to investigate the machine that was left there, and from what I've been told, it's a machine that's designed to siphon energy from one place, send it into chaos space. Our next destination, it seems. When I emerged from the hole, Knives, Caleb, and Darius were waiting topside. I checked on them briefly before heading deeper into the city ruins in search of provisions. I must do some good while I'm here. Even if it's small, I must do some good. I managed to pick up what little I could. Blankets, tinned food, etc. And also, I spent some time looking for a little something for Boots. Now, I know what you're going to say, and I've been saying it to myself the entire time since I met him. Don't get attached. But I can't help it. He reminds me so much of myself, and I just want to help him. Just protect him. Anyway, whilst I was working away, intricately carving a couple of small wooden soldiers that I'd found into what I could only describe as a shoddy attempt at a couple of goblin statues, I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. A trap door in a building across the street from me lifted and then closed again. It seems I was being watched. I quickly made my way over there, though not in a straight line, and I hid myself behind the trapdoor. When it opened again, I pounced. It turned out just to be another group of survivors, but I didn't really want to take any risks initially. As I said, though, trust isn't something that I have a lot of at the moment. But these people are just trying to survive. I helped them out by giving them some of the supplies that I'd found, and I escorted them to the edge of the city and sent them on their way. From there, headed back directly to the bunker, but not so direct. I made some wrong turns here and there, just to throw off anyone who may be following, but it seems the coast was clear. During my time away, it appears that there was more discussed down in that cave, and it turns out that Gurgle's old crew may have actually been the ones responsible for destroying the ship that Geo, Rory, and Geo's paramour were on. Though I wasn't there, I expect this did nothing to quell the distrust that was already digging its nails into this group. As I've said before, we all have a past. When I returned to the bunker, my travelling companions had already arrived and were making quick to say their farewells. Someone had already advised Brownie to bring the ship quickly. Suppose we won't be ensuring the safety of these people after all. But maybe I could save one. I approached Knives, and I asked for a permission to take Boots with us on our journey. I know, I hear you. She was also reluctant first, but she agreed, and made me swear to look after him. Knives and I entered the bunker for what would be the last time, I suspect. I broke the news to Boots, told him to gather his things, and started to make my way out with him. Understandably, Geo was not impressed, and maybe if he had voiced it in a different way, I may have listened. But I'm not going to be commanded by anyone other than Paladine. He and I need to iron out whatever this is, because if we continue like this, we'll either kill each other, or fall apart entirely. Bella asked Aqua to stay and protect the rest of the survivors, to which she agreed, reluctantly I think, but I don't think it was an easy decision for Bella to make either. Anyway, next stop, back to the academy. Wherever that is. But this journey may be a long one. We seem to have much to discuss.
Very nice.
Very nice, very nice.
A much needed recap for all involved, I think. Okay, so
Even for me, guys.
yeah,
For everyone at home, that was even nice for me, because I was like, what happened?
Oh, that happened. That's good to know. But yes, as Apollo rightly said, you are currently you left and walked out of visual of the bunker before signaling up to Brownie and Flapjack aboard the. I don't remember if you gave this one a name.
No, we're not naming this ship.
The Baking Tray 2.0.
No, that hurts so much.
Where Boots looks around frantically before you are all teleported up aboard the dock of the ship. Gurgle taking off their visor to reveal their plasmoid self, their plasmoid form within. But you have just arrived on the deck of the teleportation deck itself. to a very stunned and confused Boots, clutching your hand, Apollo.
Kind of just look down and go, it's all right. Don't worry. Nothing will come, no harm will come to you.
Like, you can see he's just, like, pointing around. Ooh.
Gosh, I'm exhausted. Is anyone else?
And Gurgle's gonna take 2 steps forward and then slither out of his suit and start plump on the ground and go.
Don't worry.
Hang on.
That's
No, I saw that he had tentacles because he shook your hand and points to Geo. But okay, that's not dangerous. I do not need to attack.
that is not dangerous, no. And I kind of like kneel down and go, a lot is going to change. We're going to see things over the next few years that may seem strange at first and unusual. But venture into it with open eyes and open heart, learn from it, and take it all in. The world is a much bigger place than you even thought imaginable. And we're going to go somewhere special. Somewhere where you can learn, hone your skills, become a great goblin.
Just as you're saying this, you all kind of begin to hear like this frantic kind of running and banging into things and and then you just see through the door. Oh my goodness, you guys, you're back. Oh my goodness, I've missed you so much. And then Boots is just like,
Dad.
hi, I've missed you. Rory. And you look, and Rory is just kind of like just staring at everyone, like clearly hesitant about, like not hesitant, it's just kind of observing this new kind of companion with you all as just staring down before kind of turning to face Flapjack, and kind of it's almost like a slight green hum fills the lava lamp face, and a little smile appears on his shield, and then he says that he's missed him too. I don't have clownfish, so I'm not doing the voice.
That's fine.
But yeah, Flapjack is kind of just going around you all, kind of like squeezing into you all like in a bit of a hug. Okay, so I don't know what you guys have done, but it seems to have helped because the levels are normalizing, and the SpellJammer Academy got in touch with us and said that there were a lot of people there now.
Yes, that is good. That is good. We are at least making progress.
And that they are, well, Sayeth said that they were going to brief you when you got there. They seemed optimistic? I don't know. I think that's what I read in their voice when they spoke to me. I'm not very good at reading emotions through voices, but it's fine. I
That
thought
one's
they
a
were
tricky
happy.
one, to be fair.
But-
No.
Are you
If
all
Sayeth
okay?
has nice things to say, then we must have done something right.
Are you all okay? Who's that?
Flapjack, this is a friend of ours. Boots, this is Flapjack, the captain of this crew. And Flapjack, this is Boots.
Flapjack kind of immediately goes into Boots' personal space. He's like, hi! And then Boots is just kind of like, hello. And is kind of like hiding into your side, Apollo, like clearly overwhelmed by everything going on.
Just so you're aware, there is another creature just like Flapjack here. Not as special, obviously, but visually
I
the
don't
same.
know. Flapjack, just to be clear, this little one here has never been off-world before, so just be a little bit... Oh, and before I forget, Roy, make use of profile Boots, add him to the system, please. We will make sure he is taken care of.
He does so.
Thanks.
Done.
I just kind of turn to Boots and go, well, you've had a rather long and exciting day. How about we go down and find you a bunk and you can get some rest?
Wait, hang on. You said off-world.
Yep, we'll explain that on the way. And I just kind of like pick him up and just kind of like start. I just kind of like.
Apollo,
Yeah?
before you leave, would you mind if I make a connection with Boots in the way I've made a connection with you? So just in case anything happens, we can all contact each other.
I think that'd be a good idea. Just in case.
Okay, and I kind of go round the back of Apollo, since how he's kind of put him over his shoulder,
Mhm.
and I do touch foreheads with Boots, and he hears in his head, now I can talk to you secretly.
You can see like Boots like concentrate, and it's like scrunching like his forehead, and he's just like, "Can you hear me?"
Of course I can.
Apollo, I think you are right. I think I'm actually like a really good sorcerer or something. I can speak to people in their heads.
Well, that is... Honestly, you surprise me even so. You must be arguably the greatest goblin that has ever been.
I mean, I think my parents... Yes, no, you're right.
I know. Let's go and find a bunk, and we'll get you settled for the evening.
Okay.
And
And
then-
you can see that he's kind of processing everything, and as you're kind of marching him towards where the bunks are, he catches a glimpse through a window outside, and you just hear him gasp. But doesn't seem tense. It's just in wonder and amazement of this view of Toril as you've begun to set off. And this is the view down from where you were beamed up to Toril. You can't see the bunker, but you can kind of see the dirt expanse that was Waterdeep, and then the surrounding forestry. And you see he just kind of is looking down in wonder as you guys begin to head towards the bunks. And after
Christmas morning.
yeah. But after a little while, like, you can feel him kind of like sagging with exhaustion, and you could tell it's overwhelmed him quite a lot, but he doesn't seem tense or upset. He seems nervously excited.
Yeah. I'm gonna go down to the lower levels, find a bunk for him, kind of put him on the bunk, tuck him in, and then tell him that he's got to stay there, go to sleep, and that Flapjack has this weird, like, a magic ability that he knows if little goblin boys and little goblin girls get out of bed before they've slept.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say roll a deception, but I just rolled an insight for Boots and he got 5.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of like, okay, is that like some space magic or
Space magic, the best kind of space magic, because what'll happen is if you get out of the cot and go wandering around, he'll know, and then we'll all know. And you don't want us all to know that you're not doing what you're supposed to do, right, Boots?
right? And you see him kind of like look around and look at the bed, and like as though he's playing floor is lava, leap up into the bed and throw the covers over him. Like, his boots are still on, he hasn't gotten changed at all. He's just like, I have to be in bed right now.
And then I will tuck him in, take his like boots off, put them next to his bed and stuff. Just like,
yeah.
I know it sounds.
They're a task. They are big punk boots.
That's good. I will spend however long.
It's nothing but buckle.
Yeah, basically.
And then I will do that, and then I will kind of just stroke his hair a bit until I see him drifting off. Then I'll mage hand it as he's drifting off as I leave the room.
Okay, cool.
As Apollo headed off, Bella would have made herself to the biggest window she can find that she can see Toril out of, and she's just going to silently spend some time watching the Toril leave, and you can see she's a little bit sad about that.
You kind of take a moment to yourself to see Toril fade into the distance as you begin to make your journey towards the SpellJammer Academy. And you hear in your head, I'll see you soon, okay?
Yes. I have to say it's much harder leaving this time.
It's harder watching you go this time, but you got this. And I'll see you soon.
You too.
The rest of you, what are you doing?
I think after I've put Boots to bed, I'll head to try and find the rest of the group.
So, Gio, I mean, I don't know how the ship's built up because it's not massive, is it?
No, it's not. So you've basically got right at the back of the ship is the teleportation deck. It's kind of it's two decks. You've got the teleportation kind of room right at the back. And then you've got below, which is the bunkers, which is where Apollo and Boots went. And then if you continue on the same kind of floor you're on, you have to the right is kind of like a common area / kitchen, the engine room right up top, which has an adjoining kind of navigation console. And that's kind of the extent of it.
Yeah. Gio would have gone to the common / kitchen area then and just sort of thrown his coat onto a chair. For the first time in a while, just placed the watch on the table, like
visibly, yeah.
Yeah, face up front. He just grabs paper, quills, ink, starts sort of laying out the bits he's taken, and he just sits down and he just sort of, you just see him place quill to parchment and then just stop and sort of just, you can see him visibly frustrated trying to think his way through everything that's going on. He's just like, come on, just think, just come. Yeah, Gio, you can work your way through this, just start at the beginning. And you can see a very visible stress just sort of in his mind trying to process this as he's not writing, just watching.
Yeah.
I watch every so often and just a little quiver in the hand.
Yeah.
As I walk into the common area then, imagining that's where everyone is, and if I see this visible stress, I will just kind of walk over and just place a hand on your shoulder, Gio.
I am sorry, Apollo. I don't mean to snap at you, or whatever that was. I know what you're doing is good. Fundamentally, I know what you're doing is good. I understand. I feel stretched. Like butter over too much bread.
I think there's a reason for that, Gio. I think you're trying to carry the weight of this entire thing just purely on your back. Trying to coordinate a band of, uncoordinated sods through whatever this is can be taxing, but you're not here alone. You don't have to, carry this burden on your own. Yes, we make questionable choices. We all have. I mean, Christ, from what I was told, I'm almost certain that Gurgle was trying to make a nuclear device within the kit. We're all doing stupid stuff. But
I know.
I think what really matters is that when the time comes and the tough choices are put in front of us, I think we just need to have a little bit of faith in each other that we're going to make the right ones.
I know. We have been so far. I know we are. He sort of places a hand awkwardly on your hand as well, sort of bending his arm. I know we have been. I know what we are doing is fast, and we've been thrown into it, and you don't even know what we are doing, do you? Because we have been moving at a light speed, and it is not a measure of distance, it's a measure of time, but you understand my point. There's just a lot going on, and yes, I might be taking on too much, but you know what I have said, and you know where I've come from, and you must understand that if I don't do this, then everything I've been trying to do is for naught.
Strangely, I do understand. Weirdly, I understand. You see, at first, it annoyed me, I'll be honest. But after some time and some careful deliberation over what you'd said, as much as you might not like to hear this, a lot of religions throughout the cosmos often do what they believe is right, regardless of if it is the right thing or not, and it's just about belief. And the group that you told me about, and you mentioned when we were down there, are obviously just doing what they believe is right. Now, I'm no learned individual. I don't claim to read many books, so I couldn't possibly understand the finer minutiae of, higher powers, but, in a small sense, I get it. I do. But what I did was wrong. I judged you based on your past and things that you had done or been around when they'd happened, and it was wrong of me. I shouldn't have done that. I mean, gods know I've done some things in my past that I'm not proud of.
You are not the only one who judged based on past knowledges, Apollo. I know I do not hold belief in gods in the highest phase, and that is a failing on my part. I know it is, and I should not judge you on your devotion to Paladine, as you have said before. Don't get me wrong. I know that it has its place in the universe, and when done correctly and done right, there is a lot of good that can come from belief en masse from many people. It is just, I have seen too many worlds, too many cities and places and people burned because one belief out strengthens the other. And I shouldn't have. And you would have been a fool not to judge me for mine.
You see that Apollo is visibly, not chuckling, but, smirking, and he just kind of turns to you and goes, for somebody that isn't religious, you've basically just described exactly what the religion of Paladine is. What do you know of it? Do you know that there is a... Paladine is the god of justice, and right, and lawful right, and good. So
it's a very broad stroke there. What is good? What is just? What is right?
It is... It's up to each person to interpret that themselves. It is, for me, personally, it is to ensure that people aren't stepped on. People aren't treated with such disdain and walked upon for the betterment of others. People are treated fairly. All people, regardless of where you're from and past transgressions and everything. The right thing... We all know what the right thing is in our hearts, the just thing. Let's say, for example, we're talking about the Galactic Empire. We all know, for example, that they don't speak or act within the best interests of those around them, only their own. I applaud them. But I'm one person. I'm not in a position to change the world in that grander scale. But what I can do is use my beliefs to enact change on a smaller scale. For example, and I know you disagreed with it at first, but take Boots. An orphan boy in what is quite literally the worst kind of situation ever. No family, people around him who would protect him but can barely protect themselves, have rudimentary talents, skills, weaponry, don't even have somewhere to call home, let alone a fortified location. So what was the right thing for me to do? No, I'm not going to become the boy's father unless things go dramatically in another direction. But what I can do is guide him to a better place. Because it's the right thing to do.
I understand. I do. I know what you are doing is in the boy's best interests. Don't get me wrong. It was more of a... It was the stress of the moment. We had said we were not taking others off-world because we did not want to show them the majesty of the universe, and then you did, and I snapped, and I shouldn't have, but it is what it is. Look, I was like him once as well. I was forever down at the spaceports. I was forever talking to the captains and the crews, trying to make my way off of my home, because it was small, and it was simple, and my family do not like to leave. So Radiant Citadel is not that interesting compared to the universe, so I understand. He reminds me of myself. He probably reminds you of you, which is why you did it. So, it is fine. We shall take the boy to a better life, a better world.
Well, I think the first port of call is that we need to all have a frank discussion about what the hell is going on and where we're going, what the plan is, and also what have we been doing up till now? I still have no idea.
At this point, you hear over the intercom, all right, you fucks. We've got about 6 hours until we get to SpellJammer Academy. Don't need any help over here. Common area and barracks are up for your disposal. Up to you. All right, Brownie, out.
I kind of forgot that that thing existed.
Oh, I do like that. I do like that flump. I don't understand why people don't.
I just think it's very much a personality clash. Like, I've never met a flump that's that big of an
Asshole.
There's
a charm to it, though, don't you think? Something so small and gelatinous, just in your face.
Yeah,
I love it.
At this point,
it's paradoxical. I can't.
Toril has kind of left your sight, and Gurgle, who I assume has kind of been looking around at what have you been doing during this kind of short amount of time?
Gurgle has probably taken his suit to sort of his bunk.
Yeah.
And then just walked around for a bit, but eventually he would have gone to Bella.
Okay.
And just tapped you on the shoulder as you'd been standing by one of the windows.
It's a squishy sound.
Yes.
Could I borrow Sai for like a minute?
Can I ask why?
You say no.
Well, just to play with him, really.
Yeah, just straight up. Can I borrow your cat?
Sure.
I mean, they're a fascinating creature. I've never really met something like this before, and
no,
yeah.
they are. I mean, as long as they're okay. And she does pick up cyanide, and she kind of lifts it up to her face and kind of gives it a nuzzle, and then hands it off cautiously to the plasmoid beside her.
You
Gurgle's
see kind
just
of
gonna take one of his tentacles and sort of make like a ramp.
like you can see that Sai, as like they're walking over, it kind of sinks in slightly to like the tentacle ramp that's been created, and like bouncing along, and you can see like, you know, when like chameleons kind of do like the back and forth kind of movement.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of that, like clearly not sure where he's stepping. It keeps going back and forth before kind of tentatively reaching you,
Looking at Bella,
Gurgle.
just like, what the fuck's going on?
I'm
Why?
gonna
What the
try.
heck is this? I'm on a trampoline.
I'm gonna try, if possible, to sort of shape myself into a slide. Like shape my arms into slide and my other arm into
Right,
slide
roll
and sort
me.
of go.
Roll me a performance check to see how cool a slide this is.
Oh, it's amazing.
This animal is feeling unsure on you. Let's make it a slippy slide.
Just this poor chameleon sliding around on Gurgle.
17.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay,
nice.
so you form yourself into this slide, which has a few like whirls in it. Like it's got like a harsh gradient at the start, which then flips around into a loop-de-loop, kind of a twisty turny, like a water slide, basically.
Yeah.
But you kind of keep a puddle of yourself towards the bottom as cushioning. But when it gets when it reaches the bottom,
This is the most weirdest description.
Puddle of yourself.
I'm gonna say, anything happens to cyanide, you will die. As she then kind of
You
strolls
just see it
back
dissolving
towards,
inside him.
strolls back towards like I presume she's in the mess hall.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
be.
So she's gonna go and grab some of the sort of food, not just for herself. She's gonna grab some general bits of food for everybody, and she's going to plonk them down on the table in front of the two boys and say, "Well, I'm glad we've all made friends. Food?
You okay, Bella? Are you feeling all right?
I'm fine. She's fine now. I know she's fine now, which makes me feel better."
You could have brought some along, you know.
No, we don't bring people along. That was a terrible idea. Whoever would do such a thing should be cast out immediately. And he just kind of like massive wry smile across his face, and he winks at Bella.
So just so I'm clear, so the three of you are in the mess hall. Gurgle Slide is on
Gurgle
the
Slide.
other side of the mess hall. Are you still within
Yeah.
the mess hall? Or are you on the yeah? Yeah,
I think
you're
for-
all,
yeah.
you're all in
Yeah.
the same room for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
all
Goggles
kind of
sort of gonna come in with Sai still sliding, and he's gonna like form so the slide
you're
keeps going
basically
as
hula hooping.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
hula
it's gonna
hooping.
throw
so-
up. It's gonna throw up
sort
on
of-
you, dude. Like,
hula hooping, but he's gonna like make sure that Sai stops, and then if he wants to go again, then he can like sort of go down himself. So it's
Scream
like
if you want to go faster.
Okay.
it's like gonna be a roller coaster for Sai.
After a few moments of this, you can see that like Sai's actually really enjoying it. Like, has been through a lot in the past with like battling side by side with Bella, but after a while, there's a few too many loop-de-loops, and you just hear a little as there is a
then
tiny
I'm
bit
gonna
of vomit on you.
then I'm gonna stop and be like placing on the table with the others and give it a little pat.
Bella, as you're kind of putting the food in front of these guys, you have a kind of clear line, like visual line towards the door, and you see Rory, who was kind of standing outside of the door, has kind of been talking to Flapjack, and they are now moving towards where you know the navigation console to be. But you see, just kind of almost without even thinking, you see Rory's hand go up and hold Flapjack's as they walk towards the navigation console. But
Well-
you're all here.
Thank you for bringing the food, Bella. I think it's high time we actually sat down and had something to eat. Break bread, so to speak.
I don't know if I brought bread, but
It's a term of phrase.
grabbed what I could.
Breaking
Try the candied locusts. They're very good.
the candied look. Oh my goodness. Well,
Cyanide likes them.
I had a bit of an epiphany today while I was out foraging
Did it
for. Somewhat, yes, but I came to the realization that none of you actually know anything about me, and I don't know a squash about you. So maybe we should rectify that. If we're going to make amends and form a cohesive party of adventurers, then maybe we should discuss each other. So where to start? Well, fine. I will begin.
It was your idea. Please, you have the table.
So I don't know where I'm from. My parents were travelers and somewhat treasure hunters, kind of archaeologists, kind of always looking to the horizon for the next big thing. And they were very much in love and had their own ship. I was born upon a ship, and I was travelled through the vast reaches of wild space. They docked the ship somewhere that I don't know, and left to go in search of some magical, mystical treasure of sorts. And I never saw them again. They said they'd be back in a few hours. A few hours turned into a few days. A few days turned into a few weeks. I can't describe how terrifying a moment that was for me. I was only young. And very, well, maybe even younger than Boots. It was some time before another travelling vessel came upon me, and aboard were brothers of Paladine. They saw the situation and took me in. I went with them. They taught me their ways, and I suddenly fell into these powers that I have. They are gifts. Gifts from a power above and all around us, really. So I travelled with them for a while, until I got a little older and I started making my own way. Sort of how you described before, Giovanni. And maybe a kindred soul in that respect. The horizon was beckoning me, and I knew that if I ventured forth into it, that there was so many people that I could help. On my journeys, I ran into a few people like that, and I did what I could. Long story short, I've been spending most of my time traveling. I've made some very good friends, one not very good friend. And that brought me to the Rock of Brawl some many years later, where I heard that there was a revolution to seize the Rock of Brawl back from the grasp of the Empire, and, well, again, here's me with destiny beckoning, people that need help, and what does Apollo do? Skip into the first sight of danger in order to save the little folk. And then I met you lovely people. And that hippo fellow, who was quite odd, but kind of nice. And that's my story. There's not much to it. I know it seems that I walk around with this big chip on my shoulder that I am above a lot of people, but I'm really not. I have quite a nice affluent voice on me because that's the way I was taught to speak. My mother and father never. They were quite common in that respect. God, I can't even remember what I used to sound like now. But here we are. And it's weird because since I met you a few days ago, you four have shown me qualities that I've been looking for a long time. In friends and family. And people that I want to hold close to me. And I don't think that I've done it any justice because how I've maybe spoke to you all at times and acted at times, and maybe that's my fault. When I first came into this, it was, I mean, you all knew each other already, and maybe I kind of felt that I was on my own and a little bit on the outside of it all. So maybe every now and again the thought came through my head that, well, who are they to tell me what to do? Who am I to ask them for their advice or their thoughts on a matter? Because I haven't for so long. It's alien to me. Last time I had to ask permission for something was way back when I was with the Brotherhood. Since then, I've just kind of done my own thing. So I'm sorry to all of you. Maybe I should have approached this differently.
No need to apologize. I get it. I actually have a fairly similar story to yours. I've been alone a very long time, so I get the position you're in. I've not needed to rely on anybody else for survival or permission for a while, so it's foreign to me too. I spent a long time traveling on my own. I did what I needed to get by. Might not have been in the most legal sense. But people taught me along the way. Aqua mostly. Slightly better moral compass. She's had more of an effect on me than I realized until she wasn't there. When I got the distress call from the SpellJammer Academy, that I didn't realize I would be away for as long as I've been. Well, it hadn't actually been that long, but it seems to have been for them, or at least a lot's gone down. Before I reached Coral the first time, I spent more years than I can count traveling a ship on my own, taking jobs from whoever would give me one for my skill set. Tends to be on the darker side of things. But it was a job. It was money. I don't really remember my home. I did mention before that I originate from Doomspace. And I know that has a reputation. So I tend to keep that to myself. But I left there as soon as I could. And I've been looking for a reason. A purpose. So to speak. I know that sounds a bit pompous, but I've been just looking for a purpose, really. And I found that with you guys. Really. And for the first time, it's not about money. I kind of want to see this through for the sake of... And she does roll her eyes. She's like, the good of the universe. But yeah, that's kind of my story. It's not a lot. It is what it is.
What about you? I mean, we've heard some of it, Gio. Maybe the parts that you wanted to tell us, but...
Well, if we're going back this far, you know, I think in some small sense I am the most different of all of you because I've always had a home and a family. He sort of reaches into his vest pocket and pulls out a very sort of old, tattered looking photograph of just these people sort of stood in front of a house, very sort of proper, very proper family sort of settlement. There's the elders in the center, sort of surrounded by family members and all that kind of thing. And I just told Apollo, but I come from the Radiant Citadel myself. From my own family home. The Kruger name is, if you cared to look into that kind of thing, plastered across space travel, faster than light things, that kind of stuff. We have fingers in a lot of scientific pies, so to speak. But they are reclusive. They do not like to leave our home. They want to stay in. It is just the Kruger way. They never ventured very far. They never left the Radiant Citadel outside of symposiums and the occasional talk. But I have always known where I was from. I've always known love, even when I left Sam all. And she sort of points, and I mean, that is great-grandfather Augustus, that is great-grandmother Wilhelmina, that's my father Balthazar, my mother Aristella, my big sister, that is Sophia, and her wife Eleanor. She is a lovely woman. That is me, obviously, a little bit younger there. I was growing my hair out, don't ask. And that is my little sister Renata. They are all still there waiting for me. Or at least not waiting for me necessarily, but just doing what they do. They don't They haven't left. They just assume I am with my school still. Maybe that is why I'm taking this a lot more to heart, potentially, or I've seen it not just because of what I've learned and the things I've seen at the Kali Chakra. It is even there. You've met Bellamy, that beautiful, beautiful individual. He was a good friend to me. So was his teacher. So a lot of people there. But I have never not had a friend or love, even when I left. Oh, the days they swept me off my feet and took me into space, I feel a little lost, I suppose, because you have all learned to survive by yourself. And I'm now learning to, or at least I was trying to, after we were separated and I made my way to SpellJammer. I was very focused and I didn't appreciate those around me. Apollo, I did not appreciate you coming in. Bella, Gurgle, it is just... That is why I struggle sometimes, or it appears I get snappy, because I'm not used to being alone. I'm not used to doing things on my own, not used to not having love next to me. So it is jarring, to say the least.
And you, Gurgle? Where are you from?
Me? Well, I'm nothing special, really.
Don't say that. Yes, you are.
Okay, fine. I was born, I think, on the Rock of Brawl. I was part of a community of Strike Queen. I was young, quite low on the totem pole, but respected. Then one day, a group of astral raiders stopped at the pool. And I decided to join them because they promised me a life of glory and adventure and, well, money. And being low on the totem pole, you don't see a lot of quids, really. But I don't know. I guess this sort of sense of adventure got to me, and I started working on this skyship called the Nebula Star. I started by swabbing the decks, but I always thought that I would be great at navigating or doing something bigger, being someone. I didn't really join an astral raider ship just to end back down at the bottom of the totem pole again. But we had this captain called Captain Ortega Soulhand. She was a bitch. She didn't recognize me for my brilliance, for my genius, and despite how many times I asked or insisted, I was stuck swapping decks. And you guys have seen me. Look at me, I'm a plasmoid. It's not really like a broom is the most favored piece of equipment that I should be wielding.
So you didn't have the suit at the time? You were just blobbing around?
I was just blobbing around. But when we started to get into spaceports, I took whatever whatever money that I'd gotten from my cuts, and I spent it on scraps, on the pieces of junk that nobody wanted. Right arm of a disabler of a rundown autonome that nobody used anymore, that was inactive, and a left leg of the other one, and then a torso and a head, and eventually I managed to build myself my own suit. And I thought, well, that's handy, now I can be useful, now I can actually do stuff. Now they can see that I can do much more. I can take pieces of scrap and transform them into these wonderful things. But still didn't really get proper notice. And eventually I heard that there was going to be an uprising, a mutiny. And I thought that this is my chance. You know, if I'm on the winning side of this, then we can get rid of the cruel captain, and I can climb the ranks. And I was promised to get a bigger position if I could help this half-orc man named Baylor to take control of the navigations hub. And on the day of the mutiny I did, thanks to my suit. And as we had succeeded, I heard that they were going to get rid of the pawn. I wasn't of any use anymore. And so, realizing that, I went down to our coffers and I stole something from them. An artifact of some kind.
And Gurgle takes out the
Yes. So you see
the
kind of
gem.
as Gurgle reaches where inside you?
Yeah,
Have you gone
basically.
Yeah? Okay, so kind of
Plucks it
you
up.
see kind of emerging from
How
Gurgle's
translucent are
body.
plasmoids?
I
Just
See,
goes-
it's just sort of like
They've sort of
It's-
semi-translucent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Sort of
the
like,
very internal part is basically opaque. It's more kind of
okay.
towards the outer edges where it kind of becomes more see-through. So you see Gurgle take out this kind of slightly larger than fist-sized rock, but embedded within the rock itself seems to be this cracked and fractured, kind of opal-looking gem. But it's not a material that any of you recognize. In all of your experience and all of your readings, this is unknown to all of you as they place it in front of you all.
So I stole that, and I headed for one of the dinghies at the side of our ship, and I fled. And for about a year, I tried to hide and outrun my former crew by circling stars or hiding amongst asteroids, planets. And when I thought that I was finally free of them, I don't know, I felt like there was an itch. Sort of the life that I've been living for so many years. Just wanted to come back, but I didn't have a crew. I couldn't be a pirate, so I started taking contracts as a freelancer. And one day, one of my jobs went south, and the dinghy was hit, and I couldn't repair it with the things that I had. So I managed to get to a space station and gather myself some parts, and thankfully I met Haskar, and he said that he could help me if I could give him a lift to something called SpellJammer Academy. And so I thought, well, that's a good place to hide. No one's gonna look in a fortress for a pirate, especially if that fortress is more or less filled with space cops.
Wait, and this is where we're going now? A place full of space cops?
Aren't you a man of justice? This should be right at home for you.
I'm just wondering who I have to ask for a badge. I don't have one, and, you know, they usually go, stop in the name of the whatever they say.
You kind of see a flicker of movement out of the corner of your eye as Flapjack's clearly just running an errand, and she goes, I think it could be argued that cops are not exactly conveyors of justice. That's all. Bye.
Gia just watched her go past and goes, well, that is one opinion, I suppose.
Well,
Hey, Cap.
look, see, this is what I thought. And I knew that this was going to be the case. See, we're not so different after all. We're all either running from or to something. But I don't think that we ever have had this time where we could sit and really truly understand our motivations. I mean, look, Gio, let's take you for example. You have a wonderful
Please
family. You come from a wonderful place. You've known love for the longest of times, whereas that's something that, apart from my dear Astrid, has been somewhat vacant in my life. So, how about this? You teach me about family, and I'll teach you about living a life beyond them. Bella, I don't really know what I could tell you. You've probably been there and done that, but what I will say is that when it comes to the shadier side of things, I don't have much experience in that at all. And if we're really to succeed in what we're doing, maybe something like that is going to be needed. You know?
Right.
And Gurgle, I mean, where do I
Don't
even...
even start.
Where do I even begin? No, you're also running from something, but I think there's more to that, more to you than you're letting on. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you say that you were yearning for a place of position within whatever organization that you become a part of. But I don't know if it's because you wanted the position or if it's because deep down you knew that it's something you deserve. And well, from what I've seen with this group of people, you've found your place. An equal member of station, of rank. I mean, you know your way around a navigational system better than I've ever seen anybody do that. Perhaps maybe not as good as Rory, but he is a motherboard and flashing lights at times. And I just kind of like turn, like, wait, just to see if... I am smiling as I say that, it is just a joke, just so you all know.
Yeah.
But I then just kind of go, so, you don't need to run anymore. And if those fuckers come back looking, then they're going to find more than just you. They'll find me too.
So they'll find all of us. And we all have reason to want to throw astrologers back into space.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So, let's start anew. All of us. We're in this together. whether we like it or not.
Oh, I
You
don't
see,
know. I
Gurgle
think
puts up one arm over where his sort of glowing dots are, and you see just a little bit
Oh,
of
my eyes,
acid
man.
start to drip, and you see he's like sort of smoking a little bit on the floor.
Oh, Gurgle, crocodile tears. They're just meant to be metaphorical, my friend. You're not actually supposed to cry them and melt things.
Shut up.
I'm a big fan of what I've come to know of what Aqua refers to as chosen family. My mother was very cruel, that's why I left. And I don't have the same thoughts of family as maybe Geo does. But Aqua would go on about how I was her chosen family. Because the family you choose is a stronger bond than the family you are born into. And I think that is something we could all use. Even those who do have a lovely family.
I couldn't agree more.
I think that is maybe one of the things I will all have to teach you then, because as much as I can appreciate the found family, I truly can, and I understand the concept. Trust me, I have had enough of it myself. I do this for them as much as I do it for myself and the universe. They don't deserve what may come. Family is not a bad thing, whether found or blood born. So we are what we are now. And as Apollo said, for better or worse, we are now stuck saving the universe together.
Yeah, about that. How are we doing that exactly?
Oh, right.
Following orders, me. So.
Don't just condense it down. Start, middle, now. What has happened? What are we doing?
Okay, so broad terms, nutshelling it for you, Apollo. We all turned up to SpellJammer for basically different reasons. We went to the Rock of Brawl, found some stuffs there, went to the library, found some more stuffs there. I personally knew a bit more about this than everyone else, but we have gradually got into it. And now we've met you, gone to Torl, destroyed a dragon, which is taking the life out of a planet and sending it to Doomspace, and now we are here.
Okay.
Feel better informed now, do you, Apollo?
Not entirely.
I could have gone into a lot more detail, but you said nutshell, so I really did condense it down.
That's fine. I know where we've been and what we've been doing that far. But
what
you mentioned that you went to the library and that the SpellJammer Academy sent you to the Rock of Brawl. Also, the SpellJammer Academy all they're cracked up to be, or not?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. I just need to know what I'm walking into.
Okay, sorry, I should have mentioned. So, have you ever heard of the name Lyrian Silversong?
Have I ever heard that name? DM.
Roll me a history check.
Oh, 19!
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes. Of course I've heard of Lyriel Silverhand.
Yes, well, Silvertooth. She was...
This poor woman.
When we first arrived at the academy, they put us through a training simulation, or at least something akin to that. We didn't realize we were in it at the time, but it basically showed the demise of this great spacefarer at the hands of a creature that, thinking about it, is markedly similar to something, but possibly. We watched her demise on her ship. And that was when we were told that on her way back from the outer reaches of space where all the bands and rebels are, something is occurring. And they had noticed the obvious issues of Atoll and, of course, Earth. Strange planet full of humans, nothing else. I can't get over that part. And basically we were going to get information from Zork of Brawl because one of the maesters there had theories about it. we followed those theories. We met you, and you basically followed us from that point on. We'd only just returned to the bar after the library.
Right. So we've been... And just so that I'm clear, the prevailing theory is that whatever we have just done down on Toril is the sum causality of the energy transference between one planet and somewhere within chaos space. We are now on our way to the SpellJammer Academy, which I'm kind of excited about, but also meh. But we're going to go there, report in, so to speak, and then the likelihood is go off to our almost certain doom in chaos space.
No
Just
such
to
thing.
clarify, it is an asteroid belt on the outskirts of chaos space. It is not within that realm space system itself.
Okay, good, because I've been thinking about this, and I'm like, I don't want to go there.
It's on the outskirts of chaos space.
Okay, good, because
it's no one's holiday destination.
Yeah, like Apollo knows like a bit about chaos space, and like
it's the asteroid belt. So essentially, the gravity pull of chaos space is so strong that there is an asteroid belt basically eclipsing the entire realm space system itself, and so it's not technically within the realm space system, but it still is affected to some extent. Both Apollo, Geo, just Apollo and Geo would know this, that the area surrounding chaos space can be influenced by similar factors within chaos space itself, as in material fluctuating between states, time going all woobly, like a lot of various
woobly,
a lot of various
space.
factors.
Okay. Then
So it's the Fey realm of
yeah,
space.
pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
On Crag.
Yeah, it's
On
fucked up. It's weird, mate. Yeah.
Okay, on that point, Bella 100% wants to go there.
Then I think if that's the case, then we need to. Yeah, I didn't quite understand, or at least comprehend, the gravity of what is happening with us, and maybe I could have listened more. For that, I apologize. I do like making small mountains out of big molehills.
What's a molehill?
It's like a thing. Basically, it's a creature that lives underground.
I
and
know what a mole is.
when
Don't worry, I was joshing you.
There
Sorry,
are a
I
lot of them
apologise.
in Doom Space. There are a lot of moles in Doom Space.
Well,
just full
very
of
well.
moles.
Just filled with moles. Just drifting through space. Can't move for them.
Oh, so that's where we're going to mole space. Nice. I think.
Oh, I want to go there now.
Very well. If that's our destination and our joint goal, then very well. But we are going to need supplies. We're going to need a great deal of support. And if you think we can get it from the academy, then very well. Do they have supplies and things there?
Yeah,
So-
they gave us supplies when we left, but we lost them.
No, we're not going to tell them that.
No,
we
we
used-
used them
we used
to
them.
great purpose.
Exactly. That's exactly the
mean-
story we're going to tell them. Because as much as I like justice, lying every now and again for the betterment of ourselves is I can kind of get on board with.
How about stealing?
Not so much.
Okay,
And
you can
lean-
do
like
it,
a-
and I'll
I
do
lean
it.
to
someone-
Gurgle. I lean to Gurgle, guys. We just won't tell him.
But you know what I see here?
Behind, sort of underneath, Gurgle goes.
You know what I see here? I see a
Like
boot,
fist bumping jelly.
a bunch of misfits. People that on their own lose their way, lose their focus, and quite possibly get themselves killed. Together, we're probably going to do it as well, but in a much more remarkably cinematic fashion.
And hopefully we will take down whatever needs taking down in the process. So,
It's true. Well, look, it's been a long day.
Mhm.
I am fucked. Oh, I said it again. You lot are a really bad influence on me.
No, I do like it when you swear, Apollo. There's something just awfully great about it. Keep going. Say more.
It's not me, it's the curse. Don't worry. I will. I
mean, cursing it's just what it's called.
Oh.
Why?
No, I should probably share this. I am cursed with bad luck. I don't know where it came from. Fucking Zeraxis, probably. No, but anyway.
Do we have a pod that we can just jettison him from this ship?
I wouldn't do that if I were you, because if I were to be jettisoned, then I would probably be very upset.
Have you ever run tests on this? Have you tried gambling, walking on things? Just
test
this out before.
It's more day-to-day things. Like sometimes I'm very good at things, other times the curse just prevents me from doing those things. I don't know why, but
that just sounds like life. To be fair.
No, but it's the work of Zarek. I know it is. He is following me and he's cursed me, and when I see him again, I shall not thank him politely.
Is this like a haunting situation like we've been
I was just thinking the same thing. Is this...
No, this is more... You know when you...
That simple fool Heskar. I wonder if Zarek is doing his curse?
I don't... But you know when... step in something that you don't want to step in. Maybe it's like left over from an animal or such, and then you step in it, you realize you have, and you're like, oh gosh, not again. And you rub your boot on grass and the ground, but no matter how much you rub your boot, there's still shit on it. Well, that's pretty much like Zarek and my interactions with him.
That's usually me.
Like,
you're sitting on the boot, or...
Just look where you're stepping, dude.
It's a metaphor. Honestly, you simpletons, I'm going to bed. He just kind of stands up, because this is twice he's made a metaphor, and Bella's like, what? So he just kind of gets up and he goes, I'm going to bed. Can you wake me when we get there? I'd rather make an entrance.
To be fair, I think that is a good thing a good suggestion for all of us. I think we should all rest. It's going to be 5.5 hours before we get to... Actually, Geo could probably tell us the exact time before we get there.
What's the exact time?
4 hours, 58 minutes.
There you go.
20 seconds. 19 seconds.
We should all rest. Do take some of this food with you if you're going to leave. Because I like to feed people. So, eat. And
you're a feeder.
Apollo picks something up and goes to walk off out of the room, and then just stops at the door, turns around and goes, oh, and I know this is probably not worth saying, but Boots could learn a lot from all of us. Not just me. Though it was my idea, I hope that you'll all join me in molding him into what will more than likely be a fine individual. Not you, Gurgle. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Never raised a kid before, but sure, I can give it a go.
I'll make him one of the finest wizards the universe has ever seen.
And I can teach him to poison people. Okay, good night.
And then, yeah, I just head off. And then I go...
As he leaves, Gurgle goes...
check under his pillow. I think there might be a knife.
Yes, I found it already. I'm just continuing walking.
All right.
You gave a child a knife.
How else is he to protect himself?
Oh, don't agree with him, Bella. Please don't agree with him.
It's up.
And then I will go check on Boots, make sure he's asleep.
Yep.
And then get in the cot that's kind of adjacent to where he is.
Yeah, you do so. The rest of you, are you all kind of taking a rest, kind of sitting down, theorizing? Because there's less than 6 hours left of the journey, you will not be able to get a long rest. But you can absolutely short rest, and you may have time later on to long rest. Okay. So I'll just go around quickly. So Apollo, you're heading to the cot, checking on Boots.
Yep.
Gurgle, What are you going to do in the remaining kind of element of the journey?
Gurgle's just gonna be puddled on the floor next to his suit.
Lovely. All right, Bella.
Bella's gonna stay in the mess. She's gonna pull a chair up and put her feet up on the opposite chair, and she's gonna grab some food, eat the food, and just relax. She's not actually going to sleep. She might nod off it, there, here and there, but she's just going to stay in the mess hall, just playing with cyanide and stuff.
All right.
Just generally relaxing.
Okay, Gia.
Cool. Before Gurgle melts next to his suit,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ask him if I can borrow the artifact he stole. Just,
Just steal it. It'll probably respect you more.
Probably true.
Yeah,
Or
sure.
kill you in your sleep. I mean, either one.
I might be doing that anyway. I'll just plonk it out of my body and back.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm
grim.
gonna mark
Guys.
one hit die while the short
Put it
rest
back
is
where you
happening.
found it.
inside you? I don't feel comfortable touching you when you're not awake.
Not specific. But, like, put it next to my suit. I'll.
Okay, I don't want to go
Well-
rummaging around inside you when you're not conscious. It's a messy thing to do. Anyway, thank you. So I've only got two things I want to do. So
Yeah.
for sort of 20 minutes, I'm going to ritual cast. So quite happily, you're just going to see him sort of making spell circles and incision things. I'm going to cast both identify and detect magic on this thing just to see if I can get a glimpse of
Nice.
anything from it,
Okay.
and just spend some time going over it because it seems interesting. He stole it. I just want to see if it's anything
Mm-hmm.
apart from just a pretty rock.
So as you cast detect magic, first of all, there is an intense magical aura coming from it. Hold up. Schools
Hold up.
of magic.
Oh, it's a magical magic.
It is a magical magic.
That kind of magic.
Space
Ah.
magic.
Um,
All magic, space magic now.
what would it be? What would it be? Hang on. Divination.
Oh.
Strong divination magic from this. But as you cast identify, the way I kind of run identify is that if it's not kind of a magic item that you know of or anything like that, I will still give you like hints towards it.
Mm-hmm.
From looking at this, you do not know exactly what it is. The most similar thing you can think of is almost like a scrying eye,
Okay.
but there is something innately divine about this that you are unable to properly tap into. You combining forces with Apollo might be able to get a clearer insight, but for now, what you're kind of gathering is that it is strong divination magic, almost like a scrying eye, but it is divine and powerful.
Okay. I mean, with Bella probably still with me at this point, she'll probably just chilling with,
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
in the area.
You just see him sort of, it's kind of floating sort of within the spell circle, just turning gently as he sort of moves around it, like does his, it's an arcane wizardry, so to glean information from it, and when it dissipates and it sort of settles to the day. So it is a very interesting thing, very interesting indeed. I can't make much of it. Maybe Apollo can help me.
You got something there, Gio?
It has the ability to okay, I'll just use the general overtone from the magic divination. It is divine divination in this jewel of sorts. I can't.
That's like gods and stuff, right?
That is generally what divine means. Yes, it's not just a description of so it is beautiful. It is divine in
I've
nature.
heard
Yes.
people say, food is divine or a fine person is divine. I mean,
Aqua was divine.
She was. Is.
Yes, she was.
Dan, you can't see the dog, so it just looks.
I know.
As though you're
Yeah.
just going,
It looks well dodged.
I know.
It
Sorry,
does
sorry,
look
sorry,
well
sorry.
dodged.
Sorry, my dog's trying to bite my hand that I hurt, and
Yeah.
Oh, bless.
sorry.
Just a bit distracting out
I
the
know,
corner
I
of
know,
my
I
eye.
know. I'm sorry. It's my fault.
Looked like you were preparing for some sort of lap dance. I don't know what it was like.
Something was going on.
No, continue, please. RP, commence.
So it's magical.
Yes.
It's godly. Does it do
Mm.
anything?
Potentially. I can't tap into it, but someone with a greater connection to divine natures might be able to. This could be something useful. We will have to bring it to the attention of
Yeah, it sounds
Apollo,
like
most
Apollo
likely.
thing, yeah.
or someone at the academy, maybe a cleric or something.
I kind of wonder why Gurgle grabbed it. Like, was he like just drawn to
Probably.
it, or
Probably just trying to annoy
It's
people,
all
and he
shiny
took the most
rock.
valuable thing he could find. I don't think he took it with knowledge of what it was.
fair?
It's sorry, you were eating and relaxing. Sorry, I was getting into my headspace.
You should do the same. You should rest before we get to the academy.
I will. I just have a few. And the last thing I want to do, DM.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, the last thing.
Oh, what's the stars?
Oh yes. So I want to think back to the training simulation when we watched Lyrian get absolutely run through.
Mm-hmm.
Was the creature in that simulation similar to the ones we saw in the pit and outlying the crater? Or would it have looked sort of like that? Because you said it came out of the console when it happened. Does it look like the same sort of pulled together, wiry figure?
Okay, so just roll me a history check.
Will do. Weirdly, that's my specialty. Cool. 22.
Okay, so the kind of creature that skewered and turned Lyrian into a shish kebab, you have seen one exactly, well, pretty much identical on Brawl
Okay. When?
in the Laughing Beholder. One of the individuals who attacked you had that same makeup, but due to the rudimentary nature of the Laughing Beholder itself, was not able to transport via any circuitry or electricity or anything like that.
Oh, the thing that electrocuted the hell out of me.
Yes.
Right.
The thing that, sorry, say that again. The thing that electrocuted.
Yeah, so Bella got extremely injured, and it was one of the reasons she went down during that fight is that there was a robotic creature that fired a blast of electricity. Yes, so you have seen one very similar to that, and on a 22 history check, you have not had a close-up inspection of this, so I cannot say that the composition is akin to what was it on Toril. I cannot say that. But what I will say is just from form and movement alone, there are similarities in the insectoid-like way it moved to Rory.
Yeah, I was just about to say, so this thing strikes me as my friend.
Yeah.
So does Rory, so just on that train of thought then, does Rory look like a more advanced or a less advanced version of what I have seen? So a much less, so he's an earlier form of what?
Yeah.
Okay, that is...
Less in the physical mechanical sense, but you knowing Ro the way you do and the time you have spent with them, you know that, like, from the brief interactions you've had with these other creatures that resemble them, that resemble him, they are clearly following program. Rory, well, following his internal programming, his processes, learning from experience, he is very much more advanced in the way of like sentience in a way.
Yeah.
So it's kind of two different aspects in which he's more, but also less advanced.
I wish Chris was here. I would
Yep.
have a lot to ask him right now, but seeing as he is
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, we will save
So-
the Rory Inquisition for
Yeah.
another time. But...
All right, so Bella will just see Geo sort of scribbling manically on scrolls, rolling them up, scribbling again. So what? Yes, okay, and then carrying on and just sort of. Nope, you're all right. I am using this too much. I'm going to overheat. I'm going to go find a place to lie down. You will wake us up when we get there, right, Bella?
I'm
He
sure
says as he's
Cookie
walking
will
out of
do
the mess
that.
hall and just waving as he goes.
All
And
right.
he quickly runs back in, closes his watch, puts it back in his jacket, and then runs back out.
Okay, so you all find yourself in various areas relaxing. I assume kind of Geo gets almost like a cold flannel to put on their forehead to stop from like their brain overheating. And
2 cucumbers.
yeah, the time passes relatively quickly. There's a couple of periods during the evening where Apollo, you're awoken at one point by movement in the bed, but it's simply Boots climbing in beside you, clearly wanting some kind of physical contact and reassurance that you're still there.
I kind of like, at first I kind of like startle and then realize it's Boots and go, like, no one else will see this, but like a little smile will come across Apollo's face and he'll get, the blanket wasn't on him, but like he'll get the blanket and pull it over Boots, like tuck him in and like do that whole like comforting arm thing like round and just like kind of move the hair out of his face and stuff.
Yeah. And after 4 hours, 58 minutes and 28 seconds, you...
Precisely.
Yeah, precisely. You hear of the intercom. All right, we've got a bit of a queue to get in, it looks like. So hold on, might be a bit longer. Seems to be a lot of air traffic around here. And anybody near a window, you look out and you see the SpellJammer Academy in front of you, but you see almost like these several cross sections of ships of all different sizes kind of queuing to get into both the air dock and the lower dock of this kind of cylindrical building, clearly much more of a hubbub than before. And you slowly are given permission to land, and the dock itself is rife with activity. People all over the place.
I'll do one thing like quickly, very quick.
Very quick, because I'm about to break.
Very quick. While we're kind of like, as the intercom comes up and like wakes me and Boots up, I'll kind of like say to him, you know, can't start a day without having a wash, brushing our teeth, and like I'll take him to the bathroom and I'll literally like make him do that. And when he's kind of like and smarting himself up, and I'll prestidigitate his clothing so it looks crisp and clean, tuck his little shirt in and stuff, like straighten him out of it. And then I'm gonna get down on like, as we kind of like he's ready and like kind of like smart hair and everything, I kind of like kneel down and go, okay, Boots, this is the first step of a very long journey for you. Where we're about to go, nobody knows you, and this is where you can start to tell your own story. Now that starts with who you are. Now, is that the name that your mum and your dad gave you, Boots?
It's more of a nickname. My real name is Jeremy.
And do you like that name?
Jeremy, no.
Okay.
Sucks.
Because this is important. My name was not Apollo when I was first born. This is what I was named at the Brotherhood. So this is a very important moment for you. Would you like to be called after something else? Like a grand, vast star in the way distant sky. Or you can choose something entirely of your own. Make it good, because you only get to choose once.
You
choose
Go on.
If it's bad, like poopy face, then people are going to call you poopy face for the rest of your life.
But that would be really funny.
Right, so we need to choose a good name.
I like Boots.
You like Boots?
I like Boots.
Then Boots it is. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Watch your manners. Don't talk back to your elders. And I just kind of like flick his long ear and just smile at him. And
You see Boots adopt an alpha walk. No, you.
What have you done to this boy?
You all kind of collect yourselves and you begin to exit into the hangar, and that is where we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back around 5 to 8. About a 15-minute break. So go grab yourself a drink, have a snack, keep yourself hydrated, and we will resume when we are returning to the SpellJammer Academy for the first time in a long time. Well, the first time returning ever. So catch us in 15 minutes and we will continue with the story. But yeah, see you guys soon.
See you soon.
and welcome back. So, I think we're gonna hop right back into it. The guys have just set down in the Skydock hangar on the SpellJammer Academy, a place that they left not so long ago in the grand scheme of things, but it feels like an age since they've been back. So, you guys dock the ship. Brownie over the intercom goes, all right, guys, that's it from me. I'm gonna, I don't know, get a coffee or something. The doors are open. Let yourself out.
Luminac. All right, Brownie.
And you hear the as the door to the spaceship opens, and joining you all, kind of at this point, you've kind of all woken since you kind of were queuing outside and have gathered into the kind of central mess hall, which is just opposite from the exit to the spaceship. And Rory and Flapjack are both with you, and Boots is by your side, Apollo, looking like quite prim and proper, like kind of like it's really like every time he catches himself like slouching, he looks at you and then just like immediately rights himself.
I just kind of like put an arm on his shoulder or like keep him close, and I'll just go, don't have to put on that much formality, but just keep your hands to yourself and...
Okay, that really hurt my back.
Good, just stay close to me though, okay?
Okay.
You sort of see
Gurgle's gonna walk up next to Boots and go,
Knife?
Stop
allowed a knife. For now.
For now.
For now. Good.
He kind of straightens himself out and walking to him and saying, are we ready? And then over the intercom, he's going to go, Zeus, we have arrived in the dock. Where do you want us to meet you?
Hold up. This is literally the voice I do all the time. Hang on. There we go. I'm back. Cool.
So method.
I know, right? I'm in my office. Come meet me when you have a chance. I think Tarto is in the hangar. If you want to say hi to her, it's really busy in here. Just come as soon as you can.
What is with all the hubbub?
We have called back everyone who's on scouting missions. We feel as though the information you've gathered has honestly given us enough of a lead to make the next steps and preparations.
All right, give us 20 minutes maybe.
Okay.
And he sort of turns to everyone and she says, like, all right, Zeus is in our office. Apollo, you will meet us shortly. Bosun Tato is around here somewhere as well. If we want to say hi, she's probably very busy, but let's make our move.
What's with all the people?
Apparently what we've done on Toll warrants calling all the scouts back, as they seem to be preparing for the next push, potentially in the right direction. We seem to have effected great change. This is good. This is what we wanted.
We
I know, right?
We rock! Yeah!
And we all jump in the air and
Yeah.
stop for a few seconds.
Don't you?
Don't you forget about me as we walk
Okay.
through.
Yes. It needs to play from one of the rickety old radios from solar space that someone nicked on their ventures there. But yes, you guys all exit the spaceship, and you are kind of in a smaller wing than the one that the baking tray came out of. But you see that it is currently full. As soon as people have dismounted and the ships have been fixed up, you see them leaving again. There's a constant cycle of preparation, kitting people out, making sure the ships are ready, and then they are clearly stored elsewhere because this area is at capacity. You see a load of individuals in SpellJammer Academy kind of overalls, behind, underneath ships, fixing it up on the little rolly out things that mechanics use. There are kind of engineers and navigators all at various consoles, like programming in and directing the orbit and those landing into the dock, trying to coordinate this mass of people. And you see kind of at the moment this exodus of about 25 or so individuals who seem relatively young, probably kind of like 18 to 25-year-olds.
Oh, I hate them already.
Cheers, check out the
That
talent.
was me 1 year ago.
You see Evan. Coming out of a slightly larger ship that is just vacated. They are all kind of wearing matching cadets uniforms, but most of them seem to be wearing robes with arcane tomes at their side or are wielding staffs of some sort, and they are being kind of directed single file out towards the main area of the academy. In general, it's clear that there are various people of various like factions and specialities all have come back to the academy because of what you have done and what you have uncovered, preparing for what comes next.
Gurgle is definitely 100% getting distracted about all the machinery and basically goes under checking what people are doing as like, no, you're supposed to do it that way. So like you guys kind of lose sight of Gurgle for a second as he kind of clambers off, and you kind of tuck yourself under like one of the ships, kind of correct somebody's mistakes, and they kind of go, oh, thanks, I appreciate that. And then you go into the next one, and there is a slight flap of a broken wing hit you and try to push you away as Bosun Tato just, thank you, I know how to do my job.
You sure?
Gurgle, it's a pleasure to see you again.
I see you too.
And you see, like, she kind of like gets herself up, dusts off some like rubs off some oil on her overalls, and looks and spots you all, and kind of gets a dirty hanky, kind of just wiping her hands, and heads towards you all.
Yeah, Apollo kind of like slows his pace, lets the others go first, and kind of like pulls Boots in front of him, and just that whole thing where I just kind of like rest my hands.
Like you potentially student.
Yeah, just kind of like resting on his shoulders as I kind of like walk, but I let these take the lead on.
So, how have you been?
Oh, it's lovely to see you all.
Tato, so good. How have you been?
Busy. As you, lots going on at the moment.
Really?
It's good. It's all good. It's all good steps. Good sign.
When did the callback happen?
It would have been literally like a day ago.
That is fast. You don't think about it.
We had a few people coming in before then, just because their scouting missions were fruitless, really. But since then, it's been all men on deck, women, others. We're all been here.
Sorry, Tato. Before I get to a fun conversation, Tato, this is Apollo and Boots. Apollo, this is Bosun Tato. She runs the hangar here.
Hello.
A pleasure to make your acquaintance, isn't it, Boots?
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And Tato goes, you don't need to bother with those formalities here. Saith will be very impressed. But I assume you guys met on your travels?
Rock of Brawl. We met them when Asgard decided to go and fight some revolutions. Apollo kindly stepped in.
I did hear from him.
And
the other
don't
day,
worry
actually.
about the formality. Apollo almost always talks like that.
Okay, that's fair enough. You do you then. Boots, was it? Boots kind of just goes, yes. Well, we don't have that many people your age here, but if these guys seem to think, what are you here for? Are you here for an education? Are you wanting to be part of the academy? And you see Boots kind of look up towards Apollo like, I don't know why I'm here.
Apollo just turns and goes, and nods, and like looks towards Bosun Tato and goes, Boots is here for all of the above. Maybe not the joining the academy, but an education, and to learn about the wider world, aren't we, Boots?
I am going to be the best wizard / cleric / knife user / robot thing ever. Sorry.
I just kind of like squeeze his shoulders, not like in an aggressive, like, shut up manner, but just like, I'm proud of you.
And Tato kind of goes, well, those are some incredible aspirations, young man. You'll fit in quite nicely. I think speak to Saith and they might be able to arrange something. But as long as you are all okay, I'm sure I'll get the rundown from Saith later. I have quite a lot to be getting on with.
Absolutely. We are on our way to Saith anyway, so it is, yes.
Amazing.
We did unfortunately lose the bacon tray. I apologize.
You could see that Tata just immediately looks to Flapjack, and Flapjack kind of takes off the hat solemnly and like holds it to their chest, and she goes, I really tried to take care of it, but then they set it on fire while I was trying to make a cake, and then I couldn't get it back. I'm so sorry. And you see Tata goes, hey, I feel like this is likely more of a loss for you than it is for the rest of us. And you see her kind of like shake her head for a second. We will get you a new ship. And then Flap just kind of like, Brownie didn't want to be co-captains with me, so I kind of was just there for that entire last bit of the journey since Brawl. So I felt a little bit useless. So if I could have a ship, that would be great. But I would love the baking tray back because, and then it goes into this massive long like rant about what he liked about the baking tray, and you can see the Tato kind of like literally like it cups it like him around the shoulder and begins to like walk away, giving you all the nod to like go.
Yeah, I think that's our cue.
I'm going to miss that flum thing.
Well,
And Bella, did you notice?
No.
Potter got the same headache thing that we get whenever we talk bad about Heskar.
Yeah, I don't think it's Heskar because it's not the first time we've talked badly about the bacon tray, and it's happened. I don't know.
It's not the baking tray.
Just...
It's about whoever wears his freaking necklace.
I don't know. It was happening before, Sat, because I made a mild insult to Heskar while we were talking earlier, and nothing happened. I don't know if that's a bad thing, but
It's because Heskar's not wearing the necklace anymore. He gave it to Flump. Sorry, he gave it to Flapjack. So he might be right. It might be the necklace.
okay,
Mysteries
so
for another day.
He wasn't a haunted hippo. That's
I mean, that's kind of
Haunted hungry
a shame.
hippos. The Halloween version.
haunted hippos.
Well, I'm gonna call Size roller coaster idea.
Anyway, we are getting distracted.
shall we?
Okay, so you
Yeah,
have
there's a lift
Yeah, lift.
this way that will take us to where we
elevator
need to
works.
go.
Oh, fucking hell. I just can imagine what Boots is going to be like on that.
The see-through bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find my map of the SpellJammer Academy again. Is there anything other than obviously heading to Saith? Is there anything anybody wants to do while on the SpellJammer Academy in this, like, just immediately? Is there any priority that they have here?
No, I think say her first, and then depending on what she says, we might need to restock. So we
They,
might
by
need
the
to go. We might need to go to restock or whatever. But I think it depends on what they say.
Yeah.
Cool.
Didn't we
Alright.
steal some credits from the people?
Yeah, we didn't get much
Brawl,
there.
and also the people that attacked us before
Yeah.
going to the Rocket Brawl.
We didn't get much though.
Um,
From memory, I think you
Yes,
only
you
got
did.
like 100 or so
I
each.
think it was like, I think it was about 100 each.
It wasn't much.
But
Just as we're
Yeah,
walking
go.
through, are there any recognizable ships? Just from a broad look of the ships that are around us, anything that strikes out?
Nothing. No, not really anything that stands out as I definitely know that ship. There are obviously similarities, similar models, but there's nothing that like completely like sparks your memory that you 1000% know. I know that ship or anything like that.
That's cool.
Is the
Okay.
dinghy still there?
The dinghy is not in this particular hangar.
Okay, I'll come back to that then.
Okay. But yes, you all make your way through down the elevator. Boots kind of is very hesitant to step on it.
Yeah, I kind of just pick him up.
That helps a lot, and you see him kind of just like staring at the ground, and like it is really anxious for a moment before this massive grin like takes over his face, and he's just like, "This is so cool." But you are kind of crammed into a lift with about 3 other or so individuals. They're clearly just going about their day, heading towards various elements. They've clicked the button for where the rest of you, other than Apollo, know to be kind of the weapons area, like the armory. But you guys get off first.
Do they look kind of green, like green in the gills? Do they kind of look cadetish? Are they?
These guys look more like they're more academic types,
Okay.
who are clearly having to do some extra training with weaponry before they are allowed to head out.
I'm gonna turn around quite loudly, not loud, not shouting it, but like quite loud, and be like, "Gio, I can't believe the journey we've had. 7 battle cruisers we took down. Can you? But all in a day. I mean, honestly, if we don't get a medal for this, I will be very, very annoyed."
Sort of looking around and playing on. He's like, well, I mean, 2 for you, 2 for me, 2 for Bella, 2 for Google. We are fantastic at what we do. We cannot help how great we are. It is just.
No, this is it. And maybe they'll start naming ships after us, and like I will like just start like eyeing the academics.
You see like they're clearly like looking and like kind of bumping into each other, and like they're not saying anything out loud, but you can like Gio, you can recognize like the message kind of spell being like like being cast like very very subtly, but you're so adept at arcane arts that you know what's happening here. They're clearly having a bit of a conversation, and Boots, like as you're picking him up, goes, "And I took down the crew all by myself. They're going to call a ship the Big Boot."
Big Boot, they are. I mean, you're absolutely right. And if we hadn't have pulled you off them, honestly, you could have took down everyone.
Yes, all of space.
All of space, indeed.
And there's a lot of that. That's an impressive feat.
So much space.
It's the elevator. If they stop first and go to leave, I'll be like, "Later, losers."
No, it's actually you guys leaving first. So at this point, the elevator doors open and you guys begin to exit.
I literally exit, stop, turn around, and just stare at them as the doors shut again, and then just carry on walking with the group.
You see this like mild panic in their eyes. Like, oh god. But you'll exit. I cannot remember what the name of the of Sayeth's office is. If anybody remembers, I will give them inspiration.
It was Sayeth's office.
No, it wasn't.
No, I don't remember.
I think it was.
If I've written this down as Heskar, I'm going to be. I deserve inspiration. What's that?
I have it somewhere, but it's in my other book, and I don't know where that is.
It
doesn't really matter either way, but I'd like some consistency.
No, I've got Sayeth, researcher, kill, question mark?
Brilliant.
Amazing stuff.
No, I don't have it, I'm afraid.
Okay.
No, I don't either.
Anyway, there. We're going there.
Wait, no, I think I've got it. Oh, yeah, I've got it. I will give everybody 10 seconds.
I didn't write down.
I didn't write it down.
I can't read my notes.
SpellJammer Nexus. You head to the SpellJammer Nexus.
Oh, of course it
Oh,
was.
that's
right,
what it
yeah.
was called.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the name of the office. I thought that was just like a space within.
No, so it's
academy
his
itself.
it's their entire office space.
Yep.
So it's where kind of the observatory it leads through to the observatory, and you see there the space itself it was kind of an organized mess before. Now it is just a mess. You see papers, tablets, everything. There are random holograms appearing all over the place. There are various people through the holograms talking. You see Saith behind the ornate desk, their usual prim and proper coiffed pompadour sticking out slightly.
Yes.
Like their cloak has been long discarded, and you just see them in like a sheer linen, like a sheer like silken blouse tucked into what are essentially slacks, and they are clearly just like haphazardly like drinking coffee, like chugging it down, and they kind of look up as you guys enter. Well, it is a pleasure to see you all. You have certainly sparked a lot of chaos on my end, but it's definitely
Mission achieved.
truly Hi.
Sayus, I like this look for you. It's a little more
Don't
pulled down. It's
I hate this. I keep forgetting to.
no, it looks like you've been enjoying yourself more. It's nice.
I really haven't, to be honest. This is absolute chaos. And they kind of get up and go to you all, other than Apollo and Boots, and just kind of like don't interact with any, like don't kind of just give like a bit of an awkward wave to both Gurgle and Rory, and then go to kind of give both Bella and Geo a kiss on both cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
And who is this dashing gentleman and equally dashing compatriot?
Well,
The first one is Boots, the other one is Apollo.
Right,
Boots is the more dashing of the two.
Right, so
That is Boots, the tall one, and the small one, that is Apollo.
No, that he's joking. So, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Apollo Xerxes.
Apollo, it's a pleasure to meet you. And you must be Boots then. And you see Boots kind of look up and just stare into the lavender glowing eyes of Saith, and just goes, "Your eyes are really pretty." And Saith kind of goes, "Well, thank you. Thank you. You are a charming young man. And where did you pick up these two individuals then?"
Apollo was from Brawl, and Boots is tall.
Toril, have you been this far from home before, Boots? And Boots just goes, "Well, I can imagine this is a big shock for you, but do you want to see something really cool?" And kind of like puts out a hand for Boots to take, and Boots kind of like grasps around Saith's like finger, and Saith kind of takes him to the large window that frames the back wall of their office and sees out into space. There are kind of the light is purple and pink and fragmented color. There are a couple of tiny asteroids and meteorites flying past, and there are stars in the distance. And you could just see like Boots immediately like let go and just go up and like press himself against the window, like staring out as Saith kind of rejoins you all. That'll keep him entertained for a second. Why have you brought a child here?
Bella just kind of steps back and kind of ushers Apollo forward a bit.
Yeah, he also feels Geo's hand just on the small of his back, just push fairly firmly towards Saith.
That was my doing. I apologize that I didn't have time to ask permission. I know now that it may have been best to do so, but this young boy did not have much chance at a normal life, saith. A life that has been granted for many of those throughout the cosmos has been ripped away from him, and I was hoping that with your permission that we could offer him a new lease of life. He's smart, quick, and, well, I hope you can see it in him what I can see.
You see Seth kind of raises an eyebrow and looks at Boots, who has kind of grabbed a scrap piece of paper off of their desk and like a piece of like charcoal, and is like drawing what he's seeing. And you see Seth smile, and they turn to you and go, "Not many people know that I myself was originally from Toril. My home was stripped away from me by individuals, an organization of sorts, and there were a few people out there who saved it, who saved me. And I managed to find my way up here, and I was actually trained here since I was around 10. And you see they kind of wander over to their desk, and those figurines that you saw previously kind of just touches them gently. I know what it's like to not have a chance where you're originally from, so you carve out a life for yourself. I would be honored to do the same for this boy. However, it is extremely chaotic right now, and I can't exactly sort a daycare out. So I will figure something out. I'm sure we can sort something. But I need everyone on deck right now.
Well,
I'm not going to send a child
no.
to the outskirts of chaos space.
Then let that be the first part of our bargain. If you take care of him, though I'm not a member of this wonderful academy, I will stand with you and for you, so long as you keep him safe while I do that.
Aye, that could be arranged. You'll behave, won't you, Boots? And Boots kind of turns around and goes, "Huh? Oh, behave. Yes, I will definitely behave. I will definitely not take out a knife unless it is absolutely necessary. And I have an amulet to protect me. I will be absolutely fine."
And you'll listen to everything that Saith tells you?
Yes.
Very good.
And kind of Saith turns to you all and kind of gestures you all to one of like the little nooks in the library where there is space for you all to sit, and you all kind of convene around the table. Boots is kind of distracting himself and keeps chasing the dancing lights. Very similar, some of you feel, to the way Scar was very distracted by these lights when he first came to the academy.
Pretty lights, man.
There seems to be this genuine interest and intrigue about how they work as well. For such a young boy, there is a lot of thought behind those eyes. But you all kind of convene at the table, and Saith kind of cracks their knuckles. Okay, so as you can probably see, I've recalled all scouting troops back to lend support. I have sent a couple of stealth cloaked ships ahead towards where you mentioned, on the outskirts of Chaos Space. I'm not sending them close enough to be for the how do we say it? Spillover effects of Chaos Space to interact and interfere with them. That is something that we are all going to have to deal with and take our time to prepare for, but unfortunately we don't really have that time. It seems, from the looks of things, that you all stopped whatever was being siphoned out of Waterdeep, you said. Something was channeling energy
Yes. A solar dragon, if you would believe me. Hold on. And as he says that, he takes out his thing and he just starts plonking brain matter, flesh, skin, bits of the dragon like onto the table. Like, yes.
A solar dragon on Toril.
Deep underground. We believe, at least Gurgle and I have had the discussions, that potentially it is a bioorganic energy converter taking life energy from the surrounding area, pulling it through its own body form, and then pushing it into a battery of sorts, which is then moved from Toll to Chaos space.
Okay, so I assume the reason the dragon is the conduit is due to the immunity to radiant energy. If that is the type of energy that is... Okay, that makes sense. Right. But why?
This is...
Well, we sort of have two theories. Either it is to use that life energy to fuel something and boot something up, sort of like I do with my suit.
No.
Or it's most likely going to be some sort of weapon that is gonna distribute this energy into something worse, like a cannon or something.
Bella also did put forth the idea, and you can explain it because you may know it better than I did, that potential magic users of great, nefariousness plant these seeds on worlds to take energy for themselves. It may be something. Bella, you know more about it than I do.
Yeah, I've recognized the seeds that we saw the last time we were here. Seeds that necromancers use back in Doomspace. So, basically, well, we don't know. This is all speculation to what.
No, these are great theories. Keep them coming.
Power is being drained from various worlds, sent there. Now, what's there, we don't know. What it's being used for, we don't know. But
says,
yeah,
I have a small inkling that it may have something to do with. Where is Ro, by the way, during all of this? What is he doing at this point in time? Is he with us, or?
Yeah, Ro is with you. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just kind of standing off to the side.
Visuals for all the things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ro at the moment is more just kind of standing, looking around, kind of just doing his usual perimeter checks.
Okay. When we were on Brawl, and this is something I came to a theory about yesterday, you was there, Bella, although I didn't verbalize it. Lyrian Silversong was murdered on her ship by a machine we saw that was very similar to something that attacked us in Brawl. If what is happening is powering these machines, potentially, then they might be using them for an uprising of sorts. It is strange to me that more than one. Potentially. Ro has said many times that energy like this can be used to form not only metal, but the power sources needed to use and power the metal men themselves. So if that is what they are doing, they might be forming an army of semi-sentient machines.
Basically, we're fucked if we let this keep going.
In no small amount of words, yes.
Okay.
Did your scouts see anything like we can help us narrow this down?
Give me 2 seconds, and you see they kind of go off and they go to their desk and they take out this massive map of the astral sea and place it down, as well as a few kind of schematic sketches of the creature that attacked Lyrian, kind of broken apart, like full on 3D blueprint kind of design, like pulling it apart, trying to figure out what it was as to the best they can. They don't have the actual body, but from kind of visual observation, they've kind of tried to reconstruct it through kind of a model of sorts, and speculate as to how it works. And they kind of place those down in front. Okay, so point exactly to where the energy is being transmitted to.
Right there.
And as you point, so just kind of as a refresher, obviously it's this asteroid cluster on the outskirts of chaos space, and it is one of the most far out asteroids, which seems almost perfectly aligned, kind of as you're looking at it, like as though it's like a straight shot over to what looks to be. It's just this cluster of a rock formation of sorts, and it's marked on the map as DG ? And you see Seth kind of get out a pen and begin drawing lines. You see a line going from Toril and realm space to the chaos kind of asteroid cluster. You see one from solar space going to the asteroid cluster, and you see the way it kind of lines up, and they then kind of grab a small kind of pyramid of glass, shine a bit of light on one end, and where the light is refracted, it sends it directly to where that DG space is. That is not good. This, Gio, you may know of this. Okay, you can see they're getting quite flustered. Okay, so this is kind of above what I've done or had to deal with previously in my studies. There are these rock formations that are somewhat organic in nature, and it is theorized that these large collection of what almost seem to be bone belong to some of the original primordial gods before the universe was created as it is now. If what you are saying is correct, that they are channeling energy from areas of organic life.
Oh, fuck me.
You're trying to resurrect a god.
Potentially.
But that would.
What,
if we are talking about one of the ancient, if we are talking about one of the ancient primordials, that would take more powers, and 2 planets combined could. That is an entire.
We don't know what they've been up to elsewhere. We have no sight on Chaos Space, no sight on Doom Space. That is a blank on all of our radars. It is a risk. It is just a theory. It is just a theory, but this could be what we are working with here.
If it's not God itself, then perhaps a mini deity or a primordial, some kind of smaller
demigod or something like that. Something that is floating.
Okay, I get that now.
Aye.
Gio's going to quickly grab a piece of parchment and a pen and, like, very as quickly as he can and as detailed but not taking too much time, scribble out the beings we saw that were in the crater, so the sort of vine people. And then once he's done that, sort of place it next to the picture of the machine that was sort of taken apart. Goes, these beings, they was there as well. They seemed to be the ones installing the web through the crust of Toll. They were either there before or they was there during, but they are part of this.
Apollo.
Yeah.
Religion check.
Okay.
It should be your
You're a
thing.
cleric, come on.
I've only got a +2 in religion, so 9.
How have I got more religion than you?
You can add +4 to that if you want.
Oh yeah,
Says
can I?
Gurgle. You can add also to that in character.
Can I also guide myself?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 9 +4 is 13 for a. Ooh, that's good. 16 then total.
16 total. Okay.
With a +2 religion.
So you see as you're. I've just seen that we've got anonymous gift subs again.
Yeah, you missed that. I didn't
amazing.
want to cut you off, but yes, We have had
Thank
five.
you. Amazing.
Five
Very much.
anonymous gifts. Amazing.
Hi.
Oh, dope.
Oh wow! Thank you so much.
We are 9 away from our sub goal. We are 9 away.
I've got those.
Yeah, different ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, you can't recollect any names,
Okay.
but when you were with the Brotherhood,
Yeah,
there were stories of the foundation of the Astral Sea and Wild Space and the universe about Paladine's rise to not glory but order
Prominence,
and
yeah.
prominence. And you remember talk of how Paladine once vanquished not a god but almost like a titan that threatened a huge part, and what's known as today as Astral Dominion was challenging Paladine and other gods for dominion over the Astral Sea, wanting it to be this chaotic space. Like, they wanted chaos and doom space to basically be the entire Astral Sea.
Okay.
And you know that there was a prolific following at the time. This is ages ago, when human beings as you know it didn't exist at the time, but there were creatures created in these titans' images.
Okay.
You feel as though this could maybe these are seeds planted way back.
I turn to the rest of the group and go, so I don't know names, but when I was at the Brotherhood, during my time there was talk of a time gone by in the birth of universes and such, and though I don't know the intricacies of it, but there was teachings during my time there of Paladine, obviously, and there was teachings, and it's an old scripture, but that Paladine once vanquished a kind of primordial being that was trying to battle for dominion over the deities and the entire known universe. Now, I'm not saying that this is that exact thing, but does strike as something similar. Maybe they might be still around, because this primordial being had followers, from what I believe. Not human, like us, but maybe other lower life forms of, like, bestial form. But maybe that's what we've seen, and that's what they're trying to do, is to resurrect that primordial being. And if so, we'll have no fear, because Paladine is everywhere, so we should be okay. He's done it once before. I mean, I can just give him a call, get him down there, ruffle some feathers, you know? And if we have a god on our side, which we do, he's with all of us, praise be, then maybe I wouldn't snigger, Gio. I mean,
just Dan.
Open yourself up to the light of Paladine and you'll see he's with us all. And maybe, just maybe, we can beat this thing.
I've never been this preachy, but that's fine. I appreciate.
Here, do you want this book of God?
Yeah. You have a moment to talk about our Lord Savior Paladine?
Okay, so we've got ancient stories, potential gods in the mix.
Okay, so my thinking, they clearly need an amount of energy of some sorts to get this.
Well, yeah, but
work.
what else in the universe can amass that amount of power and energy? Is it just planets? Can it be suns? Can it be birthing neutrons, stars? Oh, neutrons, my nose bleeds.
I mean, everything is just it's just power moving from one thing to another. It's just the constant of the universe. Everything is constantly moving from one thing to another.
So what if
energy isn't destroyed, it's just redistributed, perhaps?
So what if you had a way of siphoning that redistributed energy from one place to another? Sort of like as a river is flowing downstream, but you carve a path and bunker it out, you're forcing that energy elsewhere.
Potentially, but...
Well, is essentially what you've done already, though. You've cut off one of the power sources.
But
But
so
we don't-
many seeds on that planet.
And how many other planets are there that we don't know about?
What if this primordial still exists as a background
Within.
energy within chaos space? That is why the illicids are involved. They are picking up on the cosmic overflow from these beings. They are getting ready to do something. The followers have channeled their presence across things, forcing them into stuff.
Or what if this is a plea? This is the Galactic Empire in their force for astral dominion, reaching out to powers
Something
that should not
else.
be touched.
Well, if the Galactic Empire involved, then it is surely potentially shady. But I don't know if we hadn't seen a presence of them on Toril. Surely if
No,
they had,
no.
would they operate from such a distance behind a closed curtain, pulling
They
the
were
strings
trying-
of a power?
They were trying to take brawls. They wouldn't go. I don't think they would go down to the place they are trying to
But
pull apart.
well, you mentioned though that when you arrived towards Brawl, there were Illithids on there, or at least
So-
in the presence. But why would they not attack the Empire? Why would the Empire just let them be if they weren't working together?
They were scanning the asteroid belt. Maybe they were searching for more remnants of whatever this thing is.
Maybe. Wait. Gurgle. Do you have
Yeah.
that rock?
Oh, yes, I did scan that actually. You will, yes.
Maybe.
Google your artifact.
Yeah. Maybe this is part of that. Maybe you're right, Gio. Maybe if they're searching for remnants of that, maybe this is a remnant of it, which is why it's so sought after. Gurgle, can I see
was
it?
Godly.
Yes, I did a sweep of it yesterday. It has immense divination abilities, and the divine nature of it is intense. Whatever you have is very powerful, Gurgle.
Can I
Wait,
inspect
you're
it?
saying that I'm having something divine inside of my body?
You will. You will if
Yes,
you don't
God
hand
is
it
with
over.
you. He is everywhere, and he has just got right inside you.
I kind
Oh,
of,
for fuck's
I
sake, get it
literally,
out, get it
I
out.
literally lean in. I lean into Bella and go. I knew he'd come around.
I've seen the lights! Praise be!
I literally just kind of like.
Sir Paladin!
Thank you, Paladin.
Okay.
I knew you.
So, I would like you, upon
Okay, gotcha,
inspecting
bro.
this artifact, to roll
Yep.
me both a religion check and a D100.
Oh, okay. Can
Ooh.
I guide
Can I-
myself?
Guide yourself.
Can I aid him with the religion check?
Mm.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
advantage.
Basically,
Yeah.
you are going to be
Can I-
you.
oh, can I
yeah.
do it with advantage?
Advantage,
Or together?
guide, and also do your D100.
Okay. Ooh! That's very good. So without advantage, it's an 18 plus 4 for 22.
Okay.
With advantage, it's still an 18 with 4 for 22.
Okay.
Is
Is that guiding yourself?
It is guiding myself.
Cool.
And
All right.
I have that in big glow-in-the-dark dice.
Lovely.
What do I have to roll, dear? I'm a D100.
Yep, D100.
Oh!
100?
I got 100!
No.
I
No.
legitimately got 100. Like 1 and 2 zeros. Like is
Nice.
100 on a D100, right?
Yeah.
So one.
No. The other way
Depends
around.
which way you play
Oh,
around.
other way around. Right. Okay. What are you wanting to say, Gurgle? Before I
No, what was your check?
22.
In 22.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna use my flash of genius to give you +4
26.
to that ability.
And
Okay.
a 100. I've never rolled a 100.
All right.
No, neither have I.
That's so
Yeah, so-
nice.
Okay.
Thank
So-
you.
Boys, help him with the rock.
You all kind of huddle around Apollo as they pick up the artifact. And Apollo, you're staring deeply. You're listening to what Gio is saying about this divine nature, this divinatory magic, this similarity to a scrying eye, and your vision. You are thrust into emptiness, the vast emptiness of space, and you see in front of you a giant eye slowly open. Who reaches out to me beyond the void?
Well, probably not somebody that you were expecting. For I am the living embodiment of that you fear.
I fear very little in this world. Being trapped behind this plane, do you truly think I have much to fear?
Oh, I think you do. For I walk in the light, one that puts you there.
I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
No.
Can't refuse your. Sorry.
What's happening to a pot?
19 plus 2, 21!
Okay.
I like this big dice. This is doing really well for me. I was shitting it then. I was like, this is it. This is where I get natural one and I die. Die in dream space. Doctor Strange Mirrorverse.
You take 9 points of psychic damage. As you don't hear anything, but you feel this pulse of pain and scorn manifested. This hatred towards you. Get out! Poof! And your vision is thrust out once more, and that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh my God.
Next
Very
time.
good.
I was so
Questions?
good. I shouldn't have gone in like
needed.
I was going to say I shouldn't have gone in like a badass, but I was like, oh, I've got my boy Paladin behind me. I'm going to be fine.
That's how Ash goes about every conversation. Like, I've got 2 guns, bitches. You can't touch me. Oh, you touched me real bad.
Who are you? Bitch, I ain't telling you my name. Gotta kiss me first. Sorry.
But I hope those of you who stuck around enjoyed that. Thank you for staying with us. If you didn't catch it all, be sure to head back onto the VOD, or it'll be uploaded to YouTube on Sunday? I think SpellJammer's Sunday. A day soon. Keep an eye on the YouTube channel. All the links in the below. Be sure to tune in on Tuesday for the boys' turn in the Fallen. In the Mirror of Dead Men. It's going to be very exciting. I will be hyping everything up in chat. Just as the guys
gonna
did
be
to
a
us.
slaughter.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
exciting.
such
Kill
a
everything.
I mean, it's
4
going to
hours
be
of
too...
combat.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch it. But is there anything anybody else would like to say? I hope you all had a good time.
It's good to be back.
That was
Thank
really
you.
good.
Yeah.
That was really, really good. Thank you.
Are we raiding?
We are. We're going to raid an individual called Evan Blair Art, who is making D&D tokens from requests from chat.
Oh, nice.
So
Very cool.
nice
Get over
interactive,
there.
nice interactive stream for you guys to go and watch.
Sounds
Ask for some
amazing.
gurgles, chat.
No. We don't need any more gurgle.
Amazing.
All right, amazing stuff. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us, and we will see you on Tuesday.
See you Tuesday.
Bye.